Hey.
Alright, Joe, I just got done watching through the game between the Memphis Grizzlies and the Utah Jazz from Wednesday night. It went down to the wire. It was actually a lot more exciting game than I thought it was going to be. And yeah, I went into this game knowing that I was going to be making a video about the Grizzlies, but I wasn't sure what exactly would be the lead for it. And I was pretty surprised as I watched to find that I was really enjoying how Desmond Bane played, and he really took over in the second half. Obviously, it was all Ja Morant down the stretch, but in my opinion, Desmond Bane was a huge reason why they were able to pull this game out. Which brings me to the title of the video, because Desmond Bane has become a really solid player in the NBA. I'd say he's definitely at an all-star level, although I doubt he'll probably get any recognition to that extent. But regardless, you know, he was the only healthy starter pretty much for this Memphis Grizzlies team last season. He got a whole bunch of reps as the number one with Ja Morant and Jaren Jackson Jr. sidelined. So it makes sense, and it's just nice to see that all of those reps have carried over, at least, you know, through one game, small sample size, but at least it looks like they are going to carry over into this upcoming season. I think the main thing everyone knows about Desmond Bane is that he is a knockdown shooter. He continues that trend, as he had a couple of nice threes in this game, including one really tough step back from the corner. But his one three-pointer that stood out to me more than the others was this one here, and it's due to the fact that it came after the Ja Morant Zach Edey ball screen, because with Zach Edey being such a good screener, it gives Ja Morant a really nice lane to the hoop. And obviously defenses have to bring more help to this action to prevent them from scoring. And I love how they just float Desmond Bane back to the top of the key, and it led to a wide open three. I imagine there will be plenty more of these in the future. But honestly, the thing that stood out the most to me about Bane from this game was his ability to drive to the rim and get rim pressure. Not only did he have some insanely tough finishes through multiple defenders throughout the game, but all of these drives then led to more help defense being attracted to him, which opened up more passing lanes, and he really seems to have grown in the playmaking area of his game. And again, I think that was in large part due to the fact that he had the ball in his hands as the primary scoring option so much last season, because he had a ton of beautiful drive and kick opportunities in this game that he executed perfectly. And just unfortunately for him, no Grizzly was making the shot attempts on any of these drive and kick opportunities. I think he finished with 4 assists in this game, but it very easily could have been like 8 or 9. So yeah, I'm extremely excited to see if this playmaking leap is a true one for Desmond Bane, because again, him becoming a more complete offensive player is going to do wonders for this team. With him as the second scoring option. Plus, I also don't think he gets enough respect as a defender as well. He was playing great perimeter defense at the point of attack and even got his hands in on a nice little poke steal. So yeah, overall, Desmond Bane, extremely good player that does not get enough appreciation from NBA fans. Now, obviously, having Ja Morant back on the court was another huge plus for this Memphis Grizzlies team. Not to mention, he is just always extremely fun to watch, as he is just a walking highlight reel, and he made plenty of highlight reel worthy plays in this game. I think the best part about Ja Morant and just watching him play basketball is that anytime he gets any sort of head of steam going to the rim, something crazy has the possibility of happening. Even in this game alone, he had a few just insanely acrobatic layups and finishes, and he's so good at drawing contact, especially on his floaters, at least specifically in this game. He got a couple of and ones, and he's just able to do things on the court that I don't even know if anyone else in the league is able to match him physically. I also liked that he seemed a lot more controlled in his drives to the rim. He wasn't just, you know, flinging himself into defenders, which led to some injuries in the past. He looks a lot more decisive, and I think that's going to benefit him going into his future. Now, Ja Morant was also slinging the ball all over the court tonight, although his passes actually led to assists, unlike Bane Bane. But yes, Ja had 10 assists in this game. A couple stood out to me. He had one absolutely insane skip pass and an after timeout play where he just absolutely lasered it, put the ball on a string to Desmond Bane in the corner for the catch and shoot three. Or there was this one where he made Walker Kessler look like an absolute fool, lost on an island where he no-looked the pass to J Huff into the paint. He's just insanely good at using his scoring gravity to bring help defenders out of position, which leads to really easy opportunities for his teammates. And he's gotten to a point where he's going to hit them almost every time. He was especially good down the wire. Within like the last 3 minutes of the game, he had 3 insanely nice plays. 2 of them were these just ridiculous jump passes where he drove into the paint and seemed to just levitate in the air while Santi Aldama had like a million years to cut back door. Again, just because Ja has such insane vertical. You know, respect to Aldama too, had some really nice finishes, although we'll get more to him in a second. And then this play here, just an absolutely insane drive and layup with the left hand in the clutch. It wasn't quite the dagger, but you know, morale wise, he just does things that absolutely ruins the ego of the other team. Some other things that stood out to me, Santi Aldama actually had a team high 27 points. He was absolutely lighting it up from the 3-point line. He hit a couple of catch and shoot, and I had one pull up three in the first quarter that got him going. Taylor Jenkins also did a great job this game, then set up 2 catch and shoot opportunities for him through set plays that he knocked down. I've always been a huge Santi Aldama guy. I want to say this is his 4th year now in the league. Maybe it's his 3rd, I forget which. But regardless, if this is going to be the year that we finally see a breakout from Aldama, you know, whether it be in the starting lineup or from the bench, I am all for it. And I hope that he can finally put the pieces together. It was a pretty lackluster career debut for him. He ended up fouling out, only scoring 5 points. But in his defense, you know, the Grizzlies didn't really do a good job getting him into rhythm. He barely even touched the ball outside of a few nice plays where he crashed the offensive glass and was able to get a couple of putbacks. But he definitely got exposed on the defensive side of the ball. Walker Kessler and John Collins were absolutely dominating him the entire game, so that will definitely be something to monitor. And then from there, I just have to shout out Taylor Jenkins again because, you know, the Grizzlies have already lost Vince Williams and Gigi Jackson, 2 guys that were supposed to be pretty key role players off the bench for them this season. And they just continue to fill them in with guys I've never even heard of. Jalen Wells was extremely solid off the bench, shooting, playing defense, passing. Scottie Pippen Jr. just got converted to a actual deal instead of a 2-way. And he is just an absolute gnat on the defensive side of the ball. J Huff, another guy I had never even heard of until watching this game, is just a stretch big that can also offer some rim protection. And then we have the usual suspects with guys like Jake LaRavia, John Conchar, Brandon Clark. This bench is just insanely deep, one of the deepest in the league, and Taylor Jenkins seems to always know what buttons to press. And I'll be honest, you know, after everything I've said, I think the most insane stat from this game is that the Grizzlies had an 11-man rotation where everyone played at least 13 minutes, which feels unheard of in today's NBA, but somehow the Grizzlies make it work. They just have so many interesting lineup combinations, and again, Jenkins is not afraid to roll out entire bench lineups, which it feels like it shouldn't work, but it somehow does. You know, maybe it was just because they were playing the Utah Jazz. Actually, yeah, it was probably because they were playing the Utah Jazz. But regardless, you know, obviously the injury bug has been crazy for the Grizzlies in the past, you know, year or so, year plus. But in their defense, their next man up mentality is absolutely insane. Again, excited to see Ja Morant and company back on the court and playing, you know, actual basketball that has meaning. A lot of people were high on them going into the season, and it's for good reason. You know, if Desmond Bane can continue to play the way he did tonight, then that is going to raise the floor of this Memphis Grizzlies team by a lot, because him being this good as the secondary option is just a sign of a really, really good team. Anyways, that's all I got. Like, comment, subscribe, all those good things, and I'll catch you on the next one.